Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. Okay, so in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the compatibility, so looking at the love and anger compatibility between both Leo versus Scorpio. Now I recommend you watch this video if you happen to have your Sun, your Moon, your Mars, your Venus, and even your Mercury in either of these two signs, because of course Mercury is all about communication, and communication is pretty dang important when it comes to compatibility and relationships. However, before we do get started, if you would like to know more information all about compatibility within astrology, as well as your Venus sign, along with your Libra house and your 7th house respectively within your natal birth chart, then I have created a Libra season/archetype ebook. So what I am going to do is I'm going to provide a link to that ebook in the description box below so that you can pick up your copy today. Okay, so with all those introductions out of the way, Leo versus Scorpio. Let's do this. Now the first thing to keep in mind is that these two signs are making what's referred to as a square aspect between one another within the zodiac wheel. And what square aspects can signify is they can signify tensions, pressures, criticisms, and conflicts. But I don't just want to look at the conflicts and the pressures and tensions and things. I also want to look at and discuss the relationship overall. So really looking at how these two signs can come into a union with one another. And what we're going to do then is we're going to firstly start off by looking at the attraction. What may spark an attraction between these two signs? And what I find to be really interesting right off the bat is that we have firstly Leo, who is more of what you see is what you get. Whereas with Scorpio, what you see may not exactly be what you get. And what I'm trying to get to here is that I think a Leo may turn to a Scorpio and be really enchanted by their allure, by their mystery. But then I also think that a Scorpio towards a Leo, they may seek to explore what's hidden beneath the Leo's presence. Yes, they may look to the Leo and see someone who's maybe highly charismatic, who is really quite a passionate person, and you know, maybe if it's at a party, for example, they'll be the life of the party, they're dancing, they're having fun. That Scorpio may just be standing on the sidelines at that party watching the Leo from across the room, and they may be really curious as to what else the Leo has to offer. That maybe, yes, okay, what you see is what you get with the Leo, but at the same time, you know, Scorpios have this amazing way of being able to psychoanalyze and investigate people a little bit. Therefore, if they are to start communicating, what we can kind of notice is if the Scorpio was to approach the Leo may feel that heaviness, right? Scorpio energy can just be very penetrative and just focus in, like honing in on a person, you know, it's just, hey, I'm talking to you, like I'm looking at you. And that Leo may be a little flattered by it, you know, it's like, oh, looking at me, okay, like that, those eyes, oh, I'm getting pulled in here a little. But at the same time, it's also a bit like, oh my gosh, oh, hi, I've never met you before. well, and it can maybe even be a little bit intimidating, but it's something that I think a Leo has the capacity to step up to. Leos can be very strong-willed, so even if they feel this intense presence from a Scorpio, they're not going to back down. Neither of these signs are going to back down. So if they do get into a relationship, there can be a lot of passion. Like, I mean, a lot of passion. And it may become very intense. It may become really exciting. And they almost will keep each other guessing. But at the same time, they can also learn how to be really protective and loyal and devoted towards one another. Maybe after a while of, getting into a relationship together, after learning about each other's habits and desires and pleasures and what they like, then those things just kind of become predictable in their eyes. And so they kind of know, it's almost like they know how to give the other what they want. However, if we were to also take this a step back, okay, before we do get into potential conflicts, if we take this a step back of a Leo still being approached by that Scorpio, okay, I also think that a Scorpio has an amazing way of really being able to read between the lines for the Leo. And what I mean by this is that if, for example, that Leo has some stories that they share with the Scorpio, which Leos are more likely going to just say it. Like, if they've been through something in their lives, they're more comfortable with being vulnerable in comparison to a Scorpio. So they may let out their vulnerabilities, they may share stories, they love to tell stories about their lives, Leo types. So they're maybe sharing a story with the Scorpio, and the Scorpio's picking up on everything, and they're reading between the lines, they're digesting it, they're dissecting it little by little, and they're able to see deeper into the Leo and get right to the heart of the Leo. I feel that depending on how far they take it with their relationship, a Scorpio can really grab the heart of the Leo. I just kind of think of how the stinger is in association with the symbol a little bit. And yes, that stinger can maybe be seen as more vindictive and controlling and manipulative, looking at the lower vibration of Scorpio in that way. But I also think that that stinger can be used as a way to help other people overcome and look into their own inner demons or their own psychology. So if the Leo is ready, I think, if maybe the Leo trusts, they've really built on trust with the Scorpio, that Scorpio can have such a great way of healing that Leo. And what I mean by healing them is, hey, let's have a deep conversation about your life. Let's not just talk, for the sake of talking. Scorpio's like, no, I don't want to just talk, chit chat. Like, I want to get into the depths. Like, I want to know about you. Like, who are you? And a Leo then is presented with this opportunity to really get to know who they truly are on the inside. That, yeah, it's, hey, I'm Leo, like, this is me, hi. But we all have things within us that maybe we're not aware of, and Scorpio types have a way of bringing those things out of their partners. So if a Leo is ready for that and they've built on that trust with the Scorpio, then that is great, and that can happen and that can work. But if a Leo's not ready for that, if a Leo is maybe a bit more insecure, maybe they're just a bit unsure, uncertain, maybe they deflect certain things, maybe they can overcompensate for certain things, them being with a Scorpio may not be for them. Now, that's not to say that a Scorpio still can't help transform that Leo and help them sort of overcome their fears and such. But still, if someone isn't ready, if the Leo isn't ready for that, then that's going to be really, really difficult, I think. But then I also think that if a Scorpio is in a stage in their lives, you know what I'm noticing here? I'm not really moving my hands a lot today. If the Scorpio is in a stage in their lives where maybe they are vibrating from that more lower octave of the Scorpion, where things are pretty chaotic, things are destructive, maybe they've lost a few friends to death. You know, Scorpios have this tendency of being surrounded by death, whether that be physically, whether that be through computer games or movies they watch or music they listen to. So if that Scorpio is going through a period where maybe they've lost some close friends, perhaps even relatives, or maybe that Scorpio is starting to spiral down, okay, there can be the extremes that come with Scorpio energy. They can fly high, 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 like be on their A game, but other times they can just feel so despaired and lost. So if they're stuck, or if they're feeling a bit more down, then them being with a Leo may be kind of difficult, especially if that Leo is wanting to experience life, is a bit more joyous and wants to be a bit more happier, or they want to do fun things and play with their partner. However, I also think that a Leo may have this ability actually of being able to help that Scorpio too, you know? So if the Scorpio does go through an experience in their lives where things become really difficult and they're together, you know, they're in a solid relationship together, a Leo will be really understanding and loyal. You know, they will... Oh, Leos can just be so devoted to their partners. That's if they love them, you know, they have to truly love them, you know, love makes the world go round for Leo types. What we can kind of notice with these two signs is, I feel like if they are in a committed union together, they won't give up easily, you know. That can be better or for worse, of course, it really can. But if we were to look at it from the more beneficial side, then they're not gonna give up. They're gonna look at how they can come together and keep improving with one another and keep working through it. Now, of course, from the more negative side, therefore, looking at the conflicts here, what are these potential conflicts that can arise between them? And I think a lot of it can be an association with power struggles, with who is more in control, with who is more dominant. Of course, these are fixed signs, but I also think that just Leo and Scorpio as fixed signs, I feel that they, out of the fixed signs, are the least likely to bend to other people's will. So for both of them to be together in a union, this can be really hard for either party to see eye to eye. It can be hard for them to find a common ground, because whilst the Leo will proudly say what they want and what they think, a Scorpio will just as proudly express what they think. Now, what's also important to keep in mind is that Scorpios can be quite secretive. They can be quite private people. And if they don't feel trust, or if they don't feel a proper bond with their partner, they may withhold certain information. And if they withhold certain information, if they are not honest with that Leo will be very hurt, okay? Leo is about integrity, dignity. You do not want to get on the wrong side of the lion. And really, it's about respecting the Leo, and being loyal and honest is just really, really important. And so if that Scorpio is withholding certain things out of fear, scarcity, then the Leo may be really offended by that. However, I also think that a Leo, if they knew that the Scorpio maybe was withholding things out of a fear of vulnerability, I think that a Leo can show a lot of empathy to that, you know. They can appreciate that the Scorpio may come with their flaws. They may come with the things that maybe they're not proud of. Maybe the Scorpio did something in the past. A Leo person, if they really love their partner, they are going to still stand by them and be committed. And try and not judge them through that lens of, you did this in your past. So in this way, it would be good for a Scorpio to be vulnerable, you know, to let their vulnerabilities out around the Leo and know that they can trust the Leo with certain information. But then also, on the other side of this, Scorpio also appreciates truth and honesty as well, just like the Leo. However, if they are, for example, maybe at a social gathering together, and the Scorpio notices that the Leo is acting in a certain way that's maybe more about me, or they're snapping back at the Scorpio in front of other people, or they're treating the Scorpio in a certain way in front of other people because Leo runs the show, right? That whole thing. And the Scorpio may see these actions as pretty dishonest in themselves, or they may kind of start to question then the Leo's real intentions. So in this way, you know, it would be, of course, really good for them to communicate to one another and just to be really clear. And also, Scorpio anyway can have this tendency of reading too much into things sometimes. They, like I was saying earlier, they can really hone in on a person, on a conversation, and they can be so focused on it, and that can be great, you know. It can make them great researchers, investigators, learners, students, business people, managers, whatever. It can be great. But if it gets to a point where they start to be quite obsessive, or they start to overthink, or they start to dissect all of the information and just read too much into things and become paranoid, and they're like, oh, like too much in their head towards the Leo, and Leo's just going to be drained by it, you know. Leo's like, stop trying to always like overanalyze every situation. Why can't we just watch the television and just watch the television without you having to like psychoanalyze the people and look into it too much? Like, come on, Scorpio, I'm just trying to relax here. Like, and this actually leads us on to what they may enjoy doing together. So if they can both find something that they're both passionate about, or maybe if they work within the same field, or maybe they have a certain hobby that they both enjoy, both of them will go to that hobby, to that workplace, to that gym, and they will pump it, like, and they'll be fine, like, you know, doing their own thing. The Scorpio can freaking shout over supportive comments to the Leo, and the Leo can shout compliments and supportive comments to the Scorpio as well. They both, I think, can just have a great way of being together, but also doing their individual thing, but at the same time knowing that they are connected and they have that intimacy that they share, and so they know that's like, we're devoted, you're my one and only. Now, in terms of affection between these signs, well, that's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a high altitude of intense, passionate, heated affection. So Leo towards Scorpio, it's romance, it's dinners, it's going to different events, it's excitement, it's fun, it's play, it's buying them gifts as a way to say I love you. But then also the Scorpio, it's that sheer intensity, it's that focus, it's that intimacy, it's being able to sign their name on the dotted line, you know, in terms of joint finances, maybe buying the Leo certain things as well. You know, they're gonna be very good, I think, at exchanging money together, or just resources and materials overall between each other. But I think that potential conflicts may arise if the Scorpio, for example, is looking for something a little bit more emotionally deep, okay? Not just the glitz and the glam and the show of, hey, we're together, we're in a relationship, but actually they want the, it's me and you though. It's me and you. I don't care about, like, I don't care about everybody else out there. Like, you do know it's me and it's you. And we are going to spend the evening together, me and you. And if the Leo kind of takes that and it's like, no, like, you're being too controlling, or it's too overwhelming, I just want to go have fun, like, let's go out, then the Scorpio may feel misunderstood. So in this way, the depth that a Scorpio wants from a Leo, the Leo may be able to provide it, but they may also not be able to provide it. Though I will say overall that I think this relationship can be, like I said, really passionate. I think also it can be sexually explosive, you know, a lot of physical performance within the bedroom. Very dynamic, fiercely committed and really strong-willed. But whilst a Leo, they may bring more of their creativity and their spark and their enthusiasm into the relationship, and they may like to be treated like royalty. A Scorpio is going to bring more of that intensity, okay, that intense factor, and they can also be quite obsessed over the devotion within the relationship. Okay, so now we have looked at the love and romance and courtship. Let's now look at anger. So we're firstly going to address the Scorpio getting angry. We'll go from that way first. Right, so let's imagine that the Scorpio has shared some sort of really private information with the Leo. It's private, it's intimate, it means a lot to the Scorpio, and they share it, and so they expect the Leo to keep it to themselves. But then what ends up happening is they're in a social situation and there's conversations being had amongst their family or their friends or whoever. But what's brought up a discussion is something in correlation with that secret piece of information. Now, a Leo, I do think that a Leo is going to be very good at keeping it to themselves. You know, they'll, you know, keep it close to their heart. But then what may end up happening is the more people start to talk about it, then if that Leo gives any indication, I mean like the slightest indication that says, oh, I get what you mean, you know, oh yeah, you know, because Leos can sort of unconsciously, maybe consciously as well, want to get in the drama, right? They're like, oh, this is where the drama is. I want to know, like, tell me all, share, spill the tea, please, it's hot. If things start getting into it, and then all of a sudden, like, it just starts to spiral out of control, and then things are said, and then the Scorpio looks to the Leo like, oh my gosh, why did you do that? Why did you say that? You didn't have to say that, you know. Scorpio may keep it in, right? Scorpio may keep in the fact that they picked up on something subtle that the Leo did as a way that they could see, Leo, you sort of gave it away. You gave it away. Why did you give it away? They're keeping it in. Then it just gets to a point, you know, where maybe they're in private and the Scorpio brings it up, and then the Leo gets a bit offended, like, no, I didn't. I did not say that. That's not what I said. It was something else. And Scorpio says, no, but that's what you meant though. That is what you were getting to. I could see it. Like, it was clear as day to me. And then they start to just have an argument, like a disagreement about how Scorpio trusted the Leo so much, but the Leo just couldn't hold their tongue or stop themselves from getting all riled up in the drama and the heat in the moment. And then what ends up happening is both of their egos are bruised. Leo's pride is well and truly hurt, but so is Scorpio's pride. And then because both of their prides are hurt, then it may be hard for them to put their pride to the damn side. Because both of these signs, they can be extremely prideful and really strong-willed, and so both of them will not back down from a fight, from a disagreement, from what they really think. And so they may really butt heads. Scorpio, for example, they may just go into hiding and not want to come out of their room. They're like, right, I'm done. I'm not talking to you. And then the Leo's like banging on the door. Like, talk to me right now. I need to know. I need to know. But the more that Leo bangs on that door, the more the Leo pushes on the Scorpio. Okay, we're talking about the stinger from earlier. Oh yeah, that stinger is not being used for sort of beneficial reasons. It's just being used with pure venom. It's just explosive. It's daggering. They may say certain things to the Leo that may really get the Leo right in their heart. And then it hurts the Leo even more. So in this instance, I think it would be really good for both of them to learn how to deal with their pride. You know, yeah, okay. Scorpio has probably shared something really private, really personal with the Leo. And yes, Leos may get caught up in the drama and such, but it's also good for the Scorpio to try and like show a bit of, you know, remorse. You know, Scorpios can be highly empathetic people, but if it's something that's done on them that hurts them, then they can become really like vengeful and really hold on to it because it hurts. So it would be good for them just to show a little bit of remorse to Leo, especially if they know each other and they've been in a relationship. I'm sure the Scorpio will come to understand the Leo's personality, but you know, at the same time, it's also good for Leo to be aware of other people and just to respect what the Scorpio shares with them. But if we were to also look at this on the opposite side, so looking at the Leo getting angry towards the Scorpio, let's say for another example here, that the Leo finds out something that the Scorpio did, that the Scorpio kept a secret for a little while. Could have been for a couple of weeks, could have been for a month, could have been for a few months. Maybe the Scorpio did not share this information with the Leo for a multiple number of reasons. But if that Leo finds out later on, maybe from someone else, then they may get really, really angry. They may even get to a point where they want to step away, you know, step down for a little while from the Scorpio, remove themselves from the Scorpio. Depends, of course, on what it is, right? But we're just going to imagine that it's something that's quite explosive and possibly even detrimental to the relationship. And this is just a way to express the Leo's anger. You know, that Leo, they may get really dramatic and theatrical about it, like really hot-headed. You know, this is a fire sign, Mars. So it's like fierce and it's really aggressive and it's loud. So they're going to make it really clear to the Scorpio, that hurt me, that's disrespectful, that's not how you treat another person, or that's not the way you're supposed to act within a relationship. They're going to just be very outright about how they are feeling. But they also may have this strong willingness, like this enough kind of self-love or self-worth for themselves to know, actually, you know what, I'm walking away from this. I need a break. I need to step down. I need to get away for a little while. And this isn't them necessarily trying to escape or run away, because I think that a Leo can be very good at just being direct and honest about the situation and the anger. But at the same time, they can still have enough self-value within themselves to know where they draw the line with certain situations, and then being able to remove themselves from that situation. How the Scorpio would respond, or may respond to this, is they may then start to self-sabotage, or they may start to self-destruct a little bit. Now, to the extreme of this is just a really extreme example, and I'm not saying that this is all relationships between Scorpios and Leos. Like, this is just an example. It might even get to a point where the Scorpio tries to use certain emotionally manipulative tactics to try to get to the Leo if they feel that strong connection. It's like they need that intimate connection and it's gone, you know, oh my gosh, I messed up so much. I was not honest. I kept secrets from the Leo, but yet I still want that intimate connection. That's what I formed with the Leo, and they give it to me, and now they're not here. They're not giving it to me anymore. What do I do? And so they may feel that scarcity then, and they're afraid. So they may kind of use certain tactics to get what they want, to have it go their way. But I also think that Scorpios they can go into hiding from that situation, and they can have a really good think about it, you know? So I'm not saying all Scorpios can react in the emotionally manipulative way, but they can also maybe react in the way of really having a good sit down with themselves, thinking about what they did, learning from what they did, moving forward from it, not doing it again. So with this situation, in terms of how things can improve, well, I think it's pretty obvious. It would be beneficial for a Scorpio to look at their own tendency to be quite secretive, and how that can maybe affect the Leo. Though at the same time, Leos can also be pretty dramatic, okay? They can make a little small thing that the Scorpio keeps a secret and make it to be such a big deal. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so hurt by that, ah! Yes, it means something to them, but still, when you just kind of strip it back, you're like, seriously, you got annoyed because of that. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video on the love and anger compatibility between both Leo versus Scorpio. Now, if you do happen to have any thoughts and opinions on today's video, then let us know in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then go right ahead and click that subscribe button. And I will be back with another video very, very soon.